Home is a strange thing. When we first start Star Citizen, we're asked to choose one, a place to wake up and a place to begin. For some people, that is Area 18, and for others, it's Orison, New Babbage, even Lorryville. At the time, it's usually a practical decision. Maybe you like the way a city looks, maybe a friend recommended it, or you just picked one and hoped for the best. But I've always found it interesting that after enough time, that choice starts to matter a little less. Because eventually, we leave, we travel, we find new stations, new cities, different routes, new places to spend our time. And somewhere along the way, something changes. The place we originally chose isn't always the place we return to. Maybe you've noticed it yourself. A station you stop at more often than anywhere else. A city skyline that feels familiar, or a particular approach you've flown so many times that you could almost do it with your eyes closed. The strange thing is, most of us never really decide that on purpose. One day, it's just another location, another stop on your journey, and then somehow, without really noticing, it starts to feel like home. Not because the game told us it was, not because we selected it on a menu, because something about it stayed with us. Maybe that's the real question. Not where we started, but what makes a place feel like ours. The interesting thing is, if you ask enough players where they call home, you start to notice a pattern. Not in the places they choose, but in the reasons behind them. Some people are drawn to places like Orison, not because it's efficient or because it's convenient, but because every time they arrive, it feels different. The clouds, the light, the feeling of being somewhere that almost doesn't seem real. Others prefer the energy, such as Area 18, the movement, the traffic, the feeling that life is happening all around them. Some choose New Babbage, not just for the city life itself, but for everything else beyond it. The snow, the wilderness, that feeling that there's always something waiting just over the horizon. And then there are places that don't appeal to everyone. Lorryville, Grimhex, the stations scattered throughout Pyro, places that feel rough around the edges, places with character. Yet for some players, those are the places that feel most familiar, most comfortable, most such as the thing called home. Because maybe we're not just choosing locations. Maybe we're choosing the places that reflect something about ourselves. The strange thing is most places don't become home overnight. There's usually no moment when it happens, no message, no milestone, nothing that tells you you've arrived. It happens slowly, a route you've flown enough times to know by memory. Station corridors that you can navigate through without even thinking. Things as simple as a skyline you recognize before the city even comes into view. And somewhere in that repetition, something changes. The place stops feeling unfamiliar. You know where the terminals are, the elevators, even when you're inside the hangars. It's the little details you stop noticing because they've simply become part of the routine. And maybe that's what makes a place feel so different. Not just the architecture or the location, even the view, but the memories attached to it, the departures, the arrivals, people you meet there, the adventures that started there, and the ones that sadly ended there. Because after enough time, a place stops being somewhere you visit and starts becoming somewhere you know. Maybe that's why the answer is different for everyone, because home doesn't always look the same. For some people, it's a city, and for many others, it's a station or a distant outpost out in a forgotten corner of the system. And sometimes it isn't even a place at all. It's a ship you spent enough time in to know by memory. Even your crew always seems to find your way back to you. Even a routine that starts to feel familiar no matter where you are. Maybe that's the real reason it's so hard to define. Because home in Star Citizen isn't always where you begin. Sometimes it's just as simple as the place that stayed with you. The skyline you still recognize, the station you still know by heart, even the view through a cockpit window that still feels familiar after even all this time. And maybe that's enough. Maybe home isn't the place that makes the most sense. Maybe it's simply the place that feels like yours.